Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. We are here for day 5 of the Approach Mastermind Group 5 days of freebies. If you've joined us every day, welcome back. I'm glad to see your faces. I am going to start with a little introduction about what the Mastermind Group is, the 5 pillars of the Mastermind Group, talk a little bit about the applications, and then we will have a guest join us to say hello. And then I will let you all get on with your day, your afternoon, your early afternoon. If you're somewhere else in the world, maybe it's your morning or your evening. Whatever it is, I'm happy you're here. My name is Alex. I am the founder of the Approach Mastermind Group. If you've seen our logo before, you notice it's a mountain. And there's a tagline that goes with it. Helping actors navigate the industry mountain. Don't you feel like this industry is a mountain sometimes? And if you're here, check in and say hello. Drop a name in or drop a question. What is the Approach Mastermind Group? It is a year-long small group diversified training program for the professional actor, or for actors on the path to becoming a professional actor. It's not for beginners, it's not for novices, it's not for brand new actors who don't have some degree of what it means to be an actor. Ideally, it's for those artists who've been in this game for 2 to 3 years or more. There's no hard and fast rule on this, honestly, but I tend to find that the best people, the best candidates to be part of the mastermind group are those who are beyond the need for the beginning instruction with the newbie questions. They have a little bit of a craft to them. Maybe they're auditioning. Maybe they've already got their materials in order and they've submitted to agents and they have an agent. Maybe they're auditioning for union projects. Maybe they are even booking projects that could be student films or union projects. In our 2 communities in 2023 and 2025, we have actors that range from unrepresented all the way up through recurring top of show guest stars on network TV, routinely competing for that level of job, including that and series regulars. So there is no black and white prototype of what makes you a good candidate. That's why there's actually an application. Kind of call it like a mini college application. I promise it's not that bad. It's about 10 questions. The first half are just basic information, and the second half are sort of open-ended essay-style questions. You might write a paragraph, you might write a page. I've had applicants write pages and pages before, and I love it. And the reason I love it is because it gives me an insight into who you are as a person, how you show up in the world, how you approach this business, both as a human and an artist, a craftsperson, and what you want to get out of both the industry and the mastermind group. That's really, really important to me. Every year is different. Every community is its own organism, its own dynamic group. Currently in 2025, we have 18 actors from 12 different states. We don't have anybody in Hollywood this year. We have 1 person in New York this year. So the 2 major markets are barely represented. What we do have is a passionate community of artists who are professional actors or on the way to becoming professional actors. And I love it. It's so encouraging. It's super cool. And I just love the diversity in our talent group this year. Like I said, we have 18 members from 12 different states. Half of them are over the age of 40. It is never too early to begin your career as an actor or to really commit that this is what you are willing to do. Invest in yourself for the next year. Really quickly, the 5 pillars that really make up the Approach Mastermind Group are accountability, business acumen, community, mindset, and craft. And each day this week, we've talked a little bit about them. Accountability can be to yourself and how you show up for this career. It could be to your significant other or your friends or your family or your roommates. And sometimes that means you have to say no or turn down certain commitments. Your business acumen could be understanding how to read an agency contract when you're offered representation, or to understand that you know how to read a paycheck when you get it, to know if you've been shortchanged in some way. Community is just what it sounds like. No actor is an island, and no actor can do this alone. Community is one of the main X factors for success as an artist. Mindset, which we talked about yesterday, for me, that is the biggest X factor. This is a career path full of rejection, full of no's, full of self-doubt at various turns. It is full of peaks and it is full of valleys. And if your mindset game isn't strong, if you don't recognize the signs of when you might need to step away from this for a minute and just get a little staycation or a vacation or a day off, or just turn off your phone, it's going to be a really big uphill battle for you. Again, that's why we have that tagline, helping actors navigate the industry mountain, because it's a constant climb. Every level you get to, there's another level to get to. And then today we are going to talk a little bit about craft. And the way we're going to talk about craft is I'm going to bring in one of my favorite people from the 2023 Mastermind Group. She is a gem. She is a peach. And together we're going to talk a little bit about craft. So I'm going to let her in right now. I'm going to press the magic button. And I'm welcoming in Ashley. Ashley's based in LA. Hi, Ash.
Hey, Alex. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for coming to hang out with me on your busy Friday. Friday of a holiday weekend, no less. I didn't even realize that. I've been so busy. All of a sudden I was like, oh yeah, that's actually happening now. Oh, okay. So we've been talking every day this week about a different pillar of the Mastermind Group, from accountability to business knowledge to community to mindset. And today we're talking about craft. And before we actually get into the nuts and bolts on craft, there's a reason that craft is last in those 5 pillars. Give me your personal opinion on it. Do you think craft is the most important thing for being a successful actor, or do you think it's the combination of the other things that I just mentioned? What do you think?
I think it's a combination of all of it, like craft intertwined with all of that, but definitely not the most important. You have to have all those other things.
Yeah, I agree. Because I've often said it doesn't matter if you are Denzel or Meryl Streep, if you got a crappy attitude, or if you're getting taken advantage of by your reps because you don't understand how to read a contract. That
Yep.
You know, it's that's a tough thing. So share with us. It doesn't have to be from Mastermind, but just share with us some of your nuggets. What are some of your superpowers as an actor within craft? What makes you a strong actor?
Ooh, within craft, I would say really grounded in technique. Everyone, does what works for them, but I'm definitely a Meisner gal. Staying grounded in that. I would say directability for sure, which that's a really good thing to have in general, but you definitely stretch that in the mastermind, because all those things you threw our way. Like, I feel like I just came from an audition. My audition was at 12, so I'm literally here right afterward, and it's like,
Yeah.
some of the things I do in my auditions that I wouldn't even have dared to do before, I even had the flexibility to be that creative. So many of those things came from Mastermind.
Give us a specific example. Are you talking about using the frame, movement within the frame,
Yes.
or what are you
Oh
talking
my
about? What are you
gosh.
talking about?
The movement within the frame, and just little tips and tricks to mimic romance, like those places in the scene where you want to have some intimacy, whether that just be, closeness, holding a hand, a kiss, like those tricky ways that you can really convey that without doing something corny or pantomiming and taking the casting director out of your scene. Yes, like the casting is just like, stop.
Right.
Yes, and Thaisa and I were just talking about it. Thaisa is also from my mastermind year, and just all the things we learned from each other. We learned so much from Alex, but then also watching each other in the mastermind group, it really strengthens your craft. So it's not just like, oh, you're becoming a better self-taper. Like, you're watching yourself become a better actor and getting so comfortable in your choices that really let you have that freedom in an audition, which I think is so relevant right now because everyone's been posting all these celebrities' auditions on social media. But it's crazy because a lot of those risks that we now take in auditions came from like learning things in the mastermind, like getting really grounded and free to do those things in a safe way to stand out. Yeah.
I think you've touched on a lot of good stuff there. I think for those actors who never were acting before self-tapes, when we used to go in the room, this is not new to them because they've only come up in the game with self-tapes. But one of the challenges, one of the drawbacks of self-tape is so often, like, if we tape at home, we've got that little mark, our mark on the floor, and sometimes we get rooted to that mark and we get stiff and we get wooden and we forget that we're a real person in a real environment and that we can use the space, we can use the frame. But talking about whether it's the Severance audition that's been going around, or David Cornsweat's Superman audition that's been going around, or a couple of years ago, whether it was Dacre Montgomery's Stranger Things audition, what made those auditions successful is that each of them brought a level of authenticity first. If they weren't right for the part, we never would have seen those audition tapes. They've also been auditioning for years, if not decades, and have built up a certain amount of equity with casting offices. I mean, the gal in the Severance audition, she's been a series regular before. She's been working for years. She is known. And so that gives you a little bit of confidence, calmness, and freedom to create things without pressure. You're auditioning for your own enjoyment of creating a character. Here's the problem. Thousands of actors are seeing these auditions, and they're going to artificially recreate them now. So casting directors out there are going to get a slew of auditions on a bathroom floor. And they're not going to work because they're not coming from a place of authenticity. If you are authentic, using props or wardrobe choices or taking big risks isn't hurting your audition. If you are not coming from a place of authenticity, using props or wardrobe or crazy choices isn't going to help your audition. And it's a fine line to know when we're truly being authentic or living truthfully in that moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. What is you didn't know I was going to ask this question. What's your favorite set you've ever been on?
Oh, that's such a hard one. Okay.
I know.
Can I be annoying and do two?
Yeah, okay. What's your first one?
Because I can't pick. First one, I would say The Rookie, because there was so much action and explosions and, you know, a lot of stunts. And I love that type of world. It was so fun. And I felt like my adrenaline was on 10. And it felt like a family. Okay. Everyone was extremely friendly. But again, I just loved that set because I'd never been on a set that had so much going on with, like, oh, car explosions and oh, gunshots. I'm shooting this automatic aerosol gun. Like, it was so cool. That was like, I want to do more of that. Okay. But secondly, for a different reason, the set I'm just coming off of. So I booked a recurring guest on a sitcom, on a really cool network sitcom. And I just wrapped Tuesday, and oh my God, sitcom world is so different. Like, their schedule is so chill. It's like, oh my God. And it felt like a family. It felt like live theater, which is so fun because, like, I started in theater. Mm-hmm. And I know you didn't ask this, but kind of tying it back a little to Mastermind. Right before the Mastermind, I think I got the boot camp course.
Right.
The one where you break down, like, all the different genres, because again, you can be so good and so naturally talented, but if you don't know, like, you know, the fundamentals of what it means that this is multicam and what this means, and it's so funny because in that audition, I remembered things from the boot camp, like, oh, this is a multicam, and not just multicam, it's 4 cameras, like, it's right, crazy. Yeah. Using those fundamentals and bringing that, and then I book it. I mean, I should give you 10%. I
love it. I love it. Don't quote you. I love that. Yeah. And I love that I mean, look, you've been doing this for a long time and you're an incredibly talented and professional actor, but multicam is different because it has that energy. It has that lightning, like that kinetic energy exchange between not only the actors in the cast, but the audience. And that's, and the crew, because you're shooting on a soundstage, and that's intense. And if you've never done that before, maybe you only have theater to, like, lean on, but it's still different than theater because it's on camera and because you got to bring it and the pressure is there. I mean, the nice thing is it's probably like the closest thing to a 9 to 5 an actor can have, right? It's
Yeah.
not, you're not doing gritty overnights for 18 hours and, you kind of clock in and clock out. But where the heavy lifting comes in multicam is from the table read to the filming, that script is going to change every day as that writing team punches up a joke or changes one piece of punctuation, right? It's really sharpening the pencil day until rehearsal, day of. And even between rehearsal and shooting, they're going to tweak a joke one more time. Did that happen to you?
I have a stack of 12 scripts right here. Like, that's not even all of them, because like the first few days I just, I left them in the trailer. But like,
Right.
yeah, all the time, changing it, just not marrying yourself too much to the script, but like, yeah, being directable, being able to stay on your feet. Because like you said, like the live audience, whatever jokes aren't landing, or sometimes the joke may have landed, but it's not working timing wise because they're so specific with the timing. So they're like, they might cut half of this thing off. But it was super fun. But again, a different world. And I learned something interesting. Like one of the directors from the last episode I shot, the director said it's so interesting how he's like, do you prefer comedy? And I'm like, dramas, this is super fun and I love doing it. But I'm like, drama's my thing. I love something gritty and like, depressing. I want to use all of those reserves. I'm a very like, bring those emotions. And he's like, that's great. But he's like, keep pushing the comedy, because he's like, for whatever reason, he says it's rarer to find people who can do comedy and like sitcom comedy specifically than drama. And that amazed me, because in my head, I'm thinking it's harder to, really hit those deep emotions. They're like, no, with the comedic timing, it's harder to find people who can do that.
I mean, whether or not you as a consumer like shows like The Big Bang Theory, you as an actor have to respect that that's a very demanding job. That's why they were getting paid $1 million each per episode. So a huge amount of text, a huge amount of technical jargon in that show in particular about physicists, right? The banter and the interplay had to be sharp. I think they ran 12 seasons, maybe 13. And you can feel it really drop off if the chemistry goes away after the first few seasons. Every show experiences that. So the fact that they were able to operate at such a high level for such a long time, especially Jim Parsons as Sheldon Cooper, right? So I think being an actor is script analysis is key. Yes, you've got to have an acting technique. Meisner for you. I loved Meisner as well. But I also think if you don't have a really sharp script analysis technique, it's going to kill you, because as you move up the ranks as an actor, the scripts get more complex, meaty, the turnaround time stay the same. So you've got to process more information in a faster amount of time. If you're doing a 3-scene, 9-page top of show guest star or series regular audition, you've probably got another audition that you just did when that one came in. And when you're working on that one, another one comes in. And so you have to have this repeatable process. But comedy, especially, what the director was really saying about that is there are rules in comedy, especially multicam. You can't just make up a joke. You can't just change the text to suit you. Well, I'm funny this way, so I'm going to do what I want. No, you have to be word perfect, punctuation perfect every single time, or
up,
the joke up. Yes. So what Ashley is referencing there is what we took from the boot camp, from the audition preparation guide, which is the rule of 3, that in single cam and multicam television comedy, you'll quite often see 3 short sentences separated by periods. And there's only a certain number of combinations of ways that you can deliver those lines. Another element would be what's called the build in the reverse, which is 2 short sentences separated by a period, where you build up to the period and then you turn and you come down the other side. Or you can inverse it and go down to the period and turn and come up the other side. So it's very, very technical. It's not accidental. That's why you could be in Germany on vacation and you don't speak German, but Friends is playing on the hotel TV in German and you laugh because you understand the melody of the joke. The rhythm of the writing is set up, punchline, set up, punchline. And you just know that. That's one of the things that we spent a lot of time on in Mastermind through the boot camp. Fun fact, I don't know if you know about this, but starting in October, actually, we're actually going to be doing, so many people love the boot camp, but it's only self-guided. The course itself is only self-guided. So you don't really get me live. But what we're doing is another member of our 2023 mastermind group is a wonderful teacher and coach here in Atlanta, Katie Wilson. We're,
Yeah.
we're going to be co-teaching a boot camp class
Heck,
that is 8 weeks. So the investment into the bootcamp class will give you the bootcamp course. So you get all the nuts and bolts, you get all the self-guided tapes, but then you'll get 6 weeks of assignments going from small occupational co-star to co-star with an arc to single cam to multicam to dramedy to feature films. And then you get to break down all these scripts so you don't fall into those traps or pitfalls. And you can see from all of the actors who work on it, because everybody will be assigned the same material. And you'll be able to see what that person did. That is everybody should steal that. That's an excellent choice there based on what's in the script. Or you could see, hey, look how 70% of you made this same mistake right here.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So you can kind of put your casting director hat on and recognize a lot of people fall into these traps, or a lot of people overlook this little nugget in the stage directions that could unlock the whole scene for you. So yeah, people have been asking for that for a couple of years. So we finally put together this little syllabus and curriculum. And so we're going to debut that starting October 2nd for 8 weeks. That's not part of Mastermind, but that's just going to be a whole separate boot camp class, which will be
I'm recommending that to everyone. That is great. They need. And just as a random nugget, because you just said you were talking about the script analysis.
Yes.
And I know everyone's process is different, but
and which is cool. Yeah.
Great. Coming out of Mastermind, it's so funny. Even the one I did today, because it was a 9-pager, right? 3 scenes, show a recurring guest. Tell me why. Ever since Mastermind, what I do first is actually what I do last. And again, everyone does different things, but this is just an observation after going through like what are the things you should look out for, script analysis, the objective, all of these things that you need to do. I do that first now and I memorize last. I used to always, entire career, I memorize first because I'm like, I can't do anything if I'm not off book. Like I would always memorize first. Now it's the last thing. Like there have been a couple times I'm memorizing the last few things on the way to it. Because like stuff is everything from the script analysis.
That's a great thing for us to finish on in terms of craft and process, because some coaches say, "Oh, don't memorize at all. Don't focus on memorizing. Build the character. The words will come." And there's a certain amount of truth to that. I am a bit like you in the sense that I always went with the memorizing first, the script first, and then that frees me up to walk on the tightrope without a safety net to then make all the choices I want to make and not feel like they're risky choices because I've grounded them in the research of my script analysis. And I think ultimately what it comes down to, no matter what your process is, every actor has a tool belt. And there are a variety of different tools in that tool belt. Some you use every day. So they're like wicked sharp blades. Some you may only use for certain skills. That's fine, right? But I think ultimately acting is a marriage. It is a marriage of the organic and the technical. If you can act your ass off like Denzel or Meryl Streep, but you can't hit a mark, and you can't memorize the script, you're not going to work. But if you can hit a mark real well, but you're stiff and wooden and you don't take in your environment around you, you're probably not going to work either. So it has to be that marriage of both the organic and the technical, right? The two halves, the yin and the yang, I suppose, is kind of part of it. Well, I loved our little chat. I appreciate it. And I love that you crushed a big audition right after being on set, recurring on network multicam. And you're probably going to go right back and prepare another audition as soon as we finish. Anything you want to leave us with, whether that's on craft or your mastermind experience, or if someone's on the fence, what they're thinking about doing, anything?
I want to just be like, if you're on the fence, do it. And that's really the underwiring of everything that I will say. I definitely think that you should do it if you're on the fence. We came out of it so strong, and you guys know we've had some unprecedented times. There was strike, and then like this year was a little funny as well. It was like, oh, when do we get a break? But even now, with things starting to pick back up and you're hearing different conversations of, oh, this came out like yesterday, I saw something. Oh, there's a seventh script that these people just bought. It's like, yay,
spec scripts, yeah.
another spec scripts. I'm like, oh, this is good. But it's like, to be in the room and to be called back in again, it's like, I'm so glad I stayed sharp and keep sharpening the saw. And Alex does something specific. He's very intentional with who he selects for the mastermind groups. And it's so true that iron sharpens iron. So you're not just learning from him, you're learning from each other. And it really shows when you come out of that mastermind. And I say come out, but I feel like I'm still in it because we still have the group. It's crazy. We talk all the time. We send each other self-tapes. Like mine was in 2023 and we're still, we'll hit each other up to read. Hey, can you break this down for me? It's a forever thing, really. I strongly recommend it if you can.
It is. Thank you for saying all of that. And the fact that look, none of us knew the strike was going to happen in 2023, and the mastermind coming out that year, I think, was the best thing that could have happened, because individually, y'all may have just spun out or had bad years or what have you, but you were able to go through it together and emerge a lot stronger. And I think the 2025 class is very, very similar in that regard, as they're still dealing with the effects of the strike, the global shutdown, right? The contraction of peak TV, runaway production to Europe, right? So they're still dealing with similar things, even though the doors are open to the industry. But what, and I don't know if you know this, but what I'm really excited about is we had some big market folks in 2023 doing big things like you and Thaisa. But we've also got, in 2025, our 18 actors come from 12 different states. We don't have anybody in LA. We have one person in New York. We have a few people in Atlanta, but we have a lot of what we would call minor market actors who are investing in themselves. Honestly, just off the top of my head, we've got Tennessee, North Carolina, Kentucky, Nebraska, Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Michigan, Massachusetts, New York, yes. I can't remember, Atlanta, and maybe one other place. I think I'm forgetting one place, but like a great disparity around the U.S. and a great variety represented that says no matter where you are, you can forge a path in this career. Number one, and number two, 50% of our actors are over 40.
Heck yeah,
they're getting it done. We have a few actors in their mid-60s, Ashley.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're going all in on their career, and honestly, they're growing leaps and bounds like you wouldn't expect. I think there's, when you realize that time might be a little bit of a factor, you kind of tune out some of the external noise and just go all in and focus. And I love it. There's one of our guys who's in his 60s. He just got his first union booking. And he's psyched. He got his eligibility. He got his union booking. He's like, all right, I got to look at my Exhibit G, and I got to make sure I look at page 1 of the contract and make sure everything's correct on there. I'm like, that's it. Look at you learning, not just learning, but retaining all the information. So I love that. It's good stuff. Yes. All right, I'm going to let you go enjoy your holiday weekend. Kick butt, take names. It's great to see your face, and congrats on all the successes. You're the bomb.
You're the bomb.com too. Oh my gosh, where is it? What? I used that exact month. Oh wait, one sec. Bye.
Bye. Have a great weekend. I love it. Bye, Ash.
Bye.
Oh, that's so great. I love it. I love it. I love it. So we are coming to the close of our 5 days of freebies. And one of the last things I want to do, today we're talking about craft. And ultimately, if you're feeling secure in your craft, you're going to book a job. And if you book a job, you're going to end up on set. And if you end up on set, there are a lot of things that can be overwhelming, right? From where to go, who to talk to. Do I stay in my trailer? Am I a good, quiet little actor and I stay out of the way and I don't annoy anybody? Or are there things you can do to maximize the positive experience? Are there certain people you can talk to? I have a trio of courses called the Decode series. And the first one is Decode Your Materials. And that's like having me on your shoulder to do a little one-on-one consultation where I go over your actor's access and how to get a great headshot and demo reel clips and that sort of thing. So that's your materials. Number one, two is your market, specifically Atlanta. If you want to move to Atlanta or if you've ever thought about being in Atlanta, I kind of break down all the nuances of the Atlanta market. And then number three, decode your experience on set. It's the right people to talk to. It's the right things to take with you. It's the right paperwork to look out for. And down there in the ticker, you can see the link right there. It's these used to be paid courses, but right now I have it on my YouTube for the next 24 hours. Heck, it's a holiday weekend. I might even let it go through Labor Day. Grab that, watch that download, and take those nuggets away from that course on how to maximize your experience on set. Okay, in conclusion, y'all, if you've been getting the emails, you know that the applications open on September 1st. But if you go to alexbcollins.com/mastermind group, the applications are open right now. That's right, a few days early. If you're on the mailing list, you'll probably get an email very shortly to let you know that they're open, but you can get a head start right now if you're tuning in and watching. You can go to alexbcollins.com/mastermind group, click apply now. It is open. The applications are open until September 15th and not a second later than that. And you can also grab that link for Decode Your Experience on Set. Thank you all for joining us this week. We talked about everything that the Approach Mastermind Group covers, from accountability to business acumen to community to the importance of mindset. And today we talked about craft. It has been my pleasure to be with you in some small way, no matter where you're located, and share a little bit about what we do within the Approach Mastermind Group. I want to thank all of my guests who joined us throughout this week, whether they were from the 2023 Mastermind Group or from this year's community, the 2025 Mastermind Group. Hopefully you found commonality with some of the things I've said, some of the things the guests said, and you're really contemplating applying. I'd love to read that application. I'd love to read how you approach life and how you approach this career and where you're at in this career and why you think you would be right for the 2026 group. I can't wait to put together another magical community. And with that, I will say thank you and goodbye. And I can't wait to read your applications. Apply now. They're open. Okay.